What up? Kamish Gweed back again for the week 2 preview. A day late, but it's okay because we got some info from the game last night. It's been a hectic week all around, but the only thing that matters right now is fantasy football. Week 2, chilling with the kit right now. And let's just get into it right here. I think for the recaps, I'm going to keep doing that 3-minute drill from Chris Berman. Shout out him. I think I'm just keep doing the thing from last year for the previews. If you want to see anything different, tap in, let me know. It's a democracy here. We do what the people want. But let's start off with matchup 1, the 0-1 Mush versus the 1-0 Darkskins. From this matchup, nobody's played yet. From last night's game, from the Packers and the Commanders. There is a really big turning point in this game, though, where we have, if anybody's familiar with the wheel bet of the tall boy shotguns that me and Smith have done in golf, where I beat him, no big deal. But basically, the loser of our matchup will pick 5 tall boy shotguns, and the winner will pick 5 tall boy shotguns. And ideally, the loser is picking the easy ones to get through. You know, the Coors, the Millers, the High Noons, the White Claws. And then the winner's picking, like, the Four Locos, the Clamatos, because they want to see the loser get punished. And then whoever loses has to spin the wheel. Whatever they do, they have to do a tall boy shotgun. I think we're doing 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. It's at least 1. I think we agreed to 2. So big stakes in this game, really big. Some points from the Mush's side. Debo is on the bench again. I had my faith in Tyreek Hill for this last week because they're playing the Patriots at home. I thought it was a good matchup. Probably should have started Debo anyway. But if Tyreek doesn't do well here this week, then it's fine. We have Debo in the future. But starting 0-2 is not ideal. But yeah, we got Tyreek Hill in instead of Debo. And then we're starting David Montgomery over DeAndre Swift. So we made one change into the lineup. And basically, I'm just going to have to rely on my receivers and Jonathan Taylor to have a big game. Jonathan Taylor wasn't really being used that often. I mean, they were blowing out the Dolphins from the get-go. So the game script was like in his favor, but didn't really help him. And then Garrett and J.J. just got to keep going. J.J. McCarthy's looking good. Fields is looking good. So we just got to keep rolling with that. And then on the Darkskin side, Jamar Chase had 4 points last week. So it's really scary to see what he's about to do in this week. He's not going to have 2 back-to-back blank weeks. Be great if he did, but probably not the case. He could drop 30 this week. Not ideal. But there's a lot of focus on the running backs that he's starting over there for the Washington Darkskins with Omarion Hampton, who had, a solid-looking debut, not really fantasy-wise, but a solid-looking one for real-life aspect. So definitely a lot of upside to look forward there. And then Tyrone Tracy at running back as well, playing the Cowboys. Tyrone Tracy is not the best running back, but if he could sneak into the end zone once or twice against the Cowboys, I mean, their defense isn't great anymore. They lost Micah, so I think the turning point, the big things from this game is I need a big Tyreek Hill game, and the Darkskins need really good running back games and a breakout from Jamar, because we definitely know that Josh Allen's going to put up points. So I'm basically playing catch up with that and just hoping that I could get the better luck from last week with Teen, where, Josh Allen gets 40, but I'm still able to do well from his players underperforming. But I guess we'll see. Hopefully I don't have to shotgun, and I'm going to back myself. I don't really know what my picks were week 1. I'm going to have to look back, and then for next week's preview, I'll see how good I was at predicting the games. But I'm going to back myself, go 1-1. Darkskins lose. Sorry, Phil. Next matchup we have here is Hammer versus Nickelodeon, both 0-1. Very scary game for both. If one of them loses, dropping 0-2. Guaranteed somebody's 0-2 in this game. So very, very scary matchup. Needs to win here. What we're doing here is that Brett is starting Justin Fields with my guy. He is the truth, and I did want to pick him up, but I had to mush Foos out of a tight end, picking up Zach Ertz, which I forgot to mention that was huge. He got a touchdown, 17 points. Good thing I picked him up to cock block Foos from starting him. So good shift from me. But I did want Fields. He's going to be a baller. I like that. We need another big game from Genty, or his first big game, because he, 12 rushes for 20 yards or something like that last week. He's got to pick it up to be his number 1 guy, and so does Nico Collins, because he's Nickelodeon. He can't have another day of play. He needs to fucking lock in to prime SpongeBob days and fucking be primetime Nickelodeon. So we're looking at Ashton Genty and Nico to break out for this season already. He had Terry McLaurin have 9.8 points already. Not great, not a stinker, but definitely not something we're looking, to win, basically. And another Travis Etienne game would be huge for him. I don't know if it's a one-hit wonder for that, or he might just be that guy this year and he just fell in the draft. So really good draft value there if he keeps it up. But yeah, he needs these running backs to do well and Nico Collins to do well to pick up the slack from Terry. And what we're looking at on Hammer's side is that Antonio Brown needs a bounce-back game. Basically all of his receivers with Devontae Adams and Jerry Jeudy. None of them really popped off in week 1. Definitely needs to get those 3 guys going. Maybe all 3 get in the end zone for him to have, a good chance in this game. I'm probably going to back Nickelodeon slightly. Make it 1-1 for Nickelodeon. And then, sorry, Hammer. The newcomers do have it really bad in this league, and I think you might fall to 0-2. Hopefully I'm wrong for your sake. But yeah, we need your receivers to pop off, not put up stinkers this week, and then, Genty and Nico and Travis Etienne to keep going, I think is the turning, the game points of this game. Moving on to the next game, we have the Tribe 1-0 versus PP 1-0. The Tribe is looking great. Coming back from last place last year, has a chance to go 2-0. One of these teams, just like the last matchup, somebody's going 0-2. Somebody in this matchup is going 2-0. What we do like from the Tribe here is that Josh Jacobs did get a touchdown last night, so he has a pretty good lead. I think it's 17 points that he got when I last checked. So good thing from the Tribe here for Josh Jacobs to get that touchdown. And he's also sat Bill from starting him week 1. Sat Bill, huge, because Bill only had 1 point, 1.7. So very strategical from the Tribe. He's playing to win this year. He's got the calculations in his mind. He's not trying to camp outside in the backyard again. And Javonte Williams, hopefully he can pick it back up, score those touchdowns like he did in week 1 to pick up the slack. Well, I guess you can't do worse than Bill this week. I mean, you'd hope so, right? So definitely a really good strategic play from the Tribe there. And then we need to have, BTJ, Devontae Smith get going because, BTJ scored a touchdown last week, but he wasn't at that round 1, round 2 drafting value where he's supposed to score those points. And Devontae Smith is probably the most, inconsistent player in fantasy. He just will put up 2 points or he'll put up 25. It's very scary to start him. I don't think I had him last year. I had him in some league, and I know what the struggle is with Devontae Smith, and it's not great. But yeah, you need those 2 to get going and Javonte Williams to keep going along to carry up and keep going with Josh Jacobs' momentum. And then with PP, he sat Cortland Sutton to start Tony Pollard this week, which is definitely, I guess it could go either way. I mean, Cortland Sutton had a really good week last week. He decided to bench him, but it's up to that. He's got the good RB trio going. I'm blanking on his starting 2 running backs again. I thought I wrote him down, but I didn't. But he has Tony Pollard and his 2-star running backs. And CeeDee Lamb, he should eat against the Giants. You would hope so. He's probably going to be the big, point guy for PP this week. But DJ Moore with Caleb Williams, it wasn't looking good last week. DJ Moore was open a lot, especially on that last drive, and he just can't hit him. So starting DJ Moore over Cortland Sutton too. He's still believing in Caleb Williams. He needs, Sutton to do well, needs Pollard to do well, Moore to outbeat Sutton, and then his RB trio to do well, and Lamb. But I kind of like the Tribe here. I think that he's just playing the game different this year, and I really like where his head's at. I think the Tribe goes 2-0, PP goes to 1-1. Next game, we have Dirk versus Burger. Durkin's 1-0. Burger's 0-1. Great start from Dirk here to start Tucker Kraft. He went off. I think he had 24 points. He went off. He went crazy. I guess it's just the year of, the past losers getting revenge. Josh lost last year. Durkin lost 2 years ago. And they're both locking in this year. They're both, fuck this shit. We're not losing again. And I respect the hustle. That's exactly why we play the game. So that, you don't keep losing. You got to lock in, get back in the lab, watch some film, and get back out there and play the game. So I definitely like where Tucker Kraft is at. His running backs got to do good. He's starting Jacoby Myers, which was a set from last week. So he needs Jacoby Myers and his running backs to go off. I got to start fucking writing down these running backs because my talking point of Durkin was running backs. I fucking forgot what his running backs are, but his running backs do have to do well. I forget who they were. And then Jacoby Myers is starting over somebody. Fuck, this video is 10 minutes, so I'm not fucking restarting it. I'm sorry I messed that up. I'll do better. It's only week 2. Give me some break. And then on Berger's side, he had Jaden Daniels do solid. I think he had 19 points, especially in a loss, and not his best game. 20 points is like basically all you could ask for at that point. And he substituted Cooper Kupp to the bench to start Keenan Allen. Unk still has it, apparently. I mean, when you have Justin Herbert slinging his big-ass jump everywhere, he's definitely going to give, these bums like Quentin Johnson and old heads like Keenan Allen some points. So I do like the move there. I still think Cooper Kupp might have a good year, but I understand the sit. I think it's, up in the air. It's going Unk for Unk, and he swapped the Unks. So let's see if the Unk for Unk goes in his favor this week. His running backs are also on trash teams with Devon Achane and Kamara. I mean, they both had good weeks last week, but, the Dolphins are way worse than we thought. The Saints are as worse as we thought. So it's just, if they both get blown out, I don't really see how you're going to get points unless it's just the garbage time dunk downs and catching the balls, because they're not going to score a lot of touchdowns, I would assume. But hey, I could be wrong. Kamara did the same thing last year, but with Spencer Rattler as your quarterback, we don't really know. So we have Achane and Kamara do have to get in the end zone. At least one of them have to give Berger a shot here. And then Malik Neighbors got to stop complaining to Brian Dable and just lock in and get the ball. If you saw what Justin Jefferson was doing, I saw a video of him talking to J.J. McCarthy. The first 3 quarters, he's like, you got this, man. Let's go. We're going to still believe. Do that shit. Malik Neighbors got to get that mindset. He can't be the diva. Odell's done that before in New York, and, it worked a little bit, but in the long run, not so much. So we need Malik Neighbors to lock in, be a team player, and go out there and catch those passes. All things considered, though, I do like... I like Durkin, sorry. 2-0 Durkin, 0-2 Ham. And we move on to the next matchup where we have Binky 0-1 and Martine 0-1. Another guaranteed 0-2 team. Very high stakes in this game as well. Big talking points from Binky's side. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I was looking it over, Binky's the only team right now who has not swapped out a player from his starting lineup in week 1. He's keeping the same exact lineup from week 1. Not going to start the light skin on Seattle. He's going to keep going with K-Walk. So that's definitely a thing to see. K-Walk can't get overshadowed from Zach Charbonnet. If anything, he wants one of these guys to take over the backfield. If it's a 50-50 committee, one of these guys pops up every week. It's just a nightmare as an RB2 scenario because he doesn't really have anybody else that he could feel confident besides those two to start in the RB2. So we definitely want K-Walk, if you're Binky, to take the lead back, get back in the groove of things, or else fucking get traded. I don't really know. All his wide receivers have really good matchups, as I was seeing before. I got to start fucking writing these guys down. I don't really remember, but I remember seeing that all of his receivers have really good matchups. Dak Prescott is also playing the Giants. So I think all in all, his team does have really good matchups to score points this week. I mean, and on team side, CMC, he's still trucking along. He had a really good week 1, and he is... he's still healthy. And as long as he's healthy, he's going to put up 20 points. That's all he does. He's the fucking exciting white that the Green Bay Packers said last night, which is fucking crazy. If anybody saw that I sent in the chat earlier, the exciting whites are insane. They're undefeated. And then he also subbed in Jaylen Warren on the Steelers for Jerome Ford, which, good substitute. I mean, Jerome Ford, he ain't great. But Jaylen Warren could definitely do a shift. 14 in that flex. Looking at these teams... It's definitely, I think he had JSN and sorry, I forget. Bink does have JSN against the Steelers, and Garrett Wilson went off. So, I like Bink here, going 1-1, Teen 0-2. I'm sorry, another newcomer. I'm predicting to go 0-2. Hopefully I'm wrong for your sake, of course. And maybe if you accepted my trade the other day, but we're keeping that in-house. I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. That was unprofessional, but video's still going. We're not ending it. Sorry, team, my bad. So yeah, Bink 1-1. As long as if K Walker puts up a stinker, it could easily go to team, but I'm just going to say that Kenneth Walker is able to get back on track because I still think he's a really good player. And then we go to one of the biggest matchups of the week is Pete 1-0, Mayo 1-0. Pete's got the exciting whites. He's got Ladd and Trey McBride leading the way. Those guys are the real exciting whites, not like the Green Bay Packers. He's starting Roma Dunze for George Pickens, still trusting in Caleb Williams. I think Roma Dunze had a decent game in week 1. I think he had a touchdown. I don't fucking remember. But yeah, it's all dependent on the exciting whites, Bijan Robinson and Roma Dunze to do well with Caleb Williams for Pete to really go over Mayo here. And on Mayo's side, Xavier Worthy is looking like he might be able to play. If he's not, he does have Jordan Mason in that flex spot. But yeah, Mayo's team might be a little bit better than we all thought it was. I mean, he's still got the three guys who could come number 1 in their positions with Lamar, Bowers, and Gibbs. And when you have 3 guys being number 1 or at least top 3 in their position guaranteed at the end of the season, it's a hard team to beat, especially when we got Emeka Ibuka, who went off for 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, he's looking a lot better than people would thought. People thought Braylon Allen would take over the job, but Aaron Glenn is scheming up good things for him. The Jets have really good left tackle and right tackle and right guard, even though Elijah Vera Tucker's out for the year. The offensive line looked incredible against the Steelers. So I do really like Breece Hall this year and Gibbs. That's a really good running back tandem, having Bowers, Lamar, and Ibuka. So unfortunately, the bias aside, I'm sorry again, but I'm probably going to pick Mayo to go 2-0, Pete 1-1. So yeah, that's the recap of this week. I hope I didn't talk about my team too much because that's what I was getting complained about. So if there's any complaints about this video or the format that you want to see for something different, let me know because I have our recaps down. I don't really know what to do with the previews besides ramble on for 17 minutes about fucking matchups like this. So fucking watch this. If it's not entertaining enough, let me know. If it is, then hell yeah, let's have a fucking weekend, boys.